Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia. So we're going to do a Q&A. I appreciate those of you who answered my little post in YouTube and gave me some questions. So I wrote them down. I also have a little slip, oh gosh, for all of those of you that did leave me a question. So I'm going to draw it now. I'm going to draw two. The first one is the winner will get the box. But I tend to have bad luck with giveaways where the person doesn't always email me. So my email will be down in the description box. Email me and I will get your package to you. Let's see who it is. This will be the first one. And it is Jen. I feel like my camera is not focusing today. So Jen, please email me and let's do a number two just because I feel like I have bad luck and it seems like I often get people not responding. So Cindy, you are and I feel like the camera is not focusing. There we go. Cindy is our runner up. So if Jen does not email me, within a couple of days, you will be the winner. Again, thank you guys all to those of you who gave me a question. So I wrote the questions down and then I added a few that I found. But my first question is, what grade do I teach? Let's see, how long was I a teacher? I'm kind of wrapping them all, the teaching ones into three. And then if I wasn't a teacher, what would I be? So I teach 7th grade and 8th grade. So junior high, I think I'm on my 20th year. 19th year, 20th year, something like that. And originally I was going to school. My degree is in wildlife biology. So I was originally going to be like a park ranger. I did 4 internships at National Wildlife Refuges. But I am really happy teaching. I love my job. Many days it doesn't even feel like work. So I feel like I am on the right path and then nature is just a hobby at this point. Another question that I thought was really interesting was my thoughts on screen time as a teacher and a mom. I may have I don't know, not really controversial answer, but I don't know. Like, I don't think being on screens is good all the time, but I'm not sure I adhere to this 2-hour maximum, that we have. So I was kind of like, I grew up in the 80s, so we had Nintendo, we had TV. I don't think anybody was limiting our time on that. And so, I mean, I played outside a ton. I also played Nintendo a lot, watched TV a lot, and I feel like I didn't end up screwed up. So I don't know. Like, I feel like I am not a like hardcore no screen time. I absolutely try to have my daughter have a balance. I will tell her to get off of it. Go do something. We spend a lot of time outdoors, hiking at the beach, playing, whatever. So, by today's standards of 2 hours maximum, I would be failing. But I feel like I strike a balance. I do not let my daughter on it all day, every day, but she definitely, I would get more than 2 hours. But that's just kind of how it is. Like, she's playing games, she's doing things like, I don't know. She's also at school all day. She's in karate. We do Girl Scouts, like I said, hiking. So I'm not too hung up on it. I mean, unless you're literally on it all day, every day, I don't really think it's a big deal. I think we've blown it out of proportion. But I suppose there are extreme cases. Like I've been at the zoo. I've been at like an amusement park where there is a kid in the stroller with their iPad. And I think that's ridiculous. You're at the zoo, you're at the amusement park, you should be enjoying that. I'm pretty like, dinner time, we're not on our devices. Like if we're at a restaurant, I'm not, my daughter's never been on her device at a restaurant. So certain things like that. But again, I think to each their own. All right, another question. What hobbies do I most enjoy? And number one would be hiking, just being out in nature. Just is a kind of like cleanses my soul. So I love hiking. I love being out in nature, even just a walk at a park. And I would say my second hobby that I really enjoy is YouTube. So those are like my 2 favorite hobbies. I like to read, but I don't know. I don't count that as a hobby. So I feel like at this point, hiking and YouTube for sure. And then one of the questions somewhere was what was it? why YouTube? And so that kind of ties in with that. I kind of got started. My dad had passed away and I was in a fog, I would say. I had just had Cora. He had died. I was in a fog, I would say, for about 2 years. And I kind of was waking up from the fog. And I don't know how I don't know how I found Stitch Fix and then YouTube. Like, I had never been on YouTube. At that point, had you asked me, I would have told you YouTube was an absolute waste of time. And so I don't know how I found Stitch Fix. But I was finally getting interested in clothes, looking nicer. I had kind of been in a funk where I was probably dressing dreadful for work. And I had Stitch Fix. And so my first videos were of Stitch Fix. I deleted them for some reason. Like, every couple months I would delete all my videos. So I don't have any of my first ones, but I would just hold my phone up in the mirror to show my clothes. So my kind of like recovery from my dad got me into YouTube, but I live in California. All of my family and friends are in Indiana. And so I don't have that many friends. I am blessed with coworkers that I call friends and some coworkers I call family. But I feel like YouTube is a way for me to kind of interact. Some of you guys have been around for years. I had made a really good friend, Nancy Rounds. Sadly, she passed away a few months ago. But we would watch each other's videos. We would send each other cards. We would email. And so for me, this is also kind of like, it's an interaction. Like, I love the comments, and things like that. So for me, it's kind of like I was recovering and it's kind of a way of interaction, friends kind of a thing. So that's kind of why, YouTube. And let's see, what else do we have? What was my first subscription box? I would say definitely Stitch Fix. And when I first started, it was like Stitch Fix once a month and that was it. Again, I deleted those. And then I kind of had a favorite boxes. So, I used to say Stitch Fix. At the moment, I'm taking a break. Sadly, because I'm losing weight, I'm going to have to get more clothes. I may have to like start Stitch Fix back up. Early on, I loved bath boxes. So I got Bath Bevy. There's been a couple other ones. I loved bath boxes and I got them all the time. They are just pricey. And so there was a point where I kind of crossed over to getting more clothing boxes. And I couldn't really afford the clothing boxes and a bunch of other boxes because the bath boxes are expensive. Like Bath Bevy at this point is like $60. And it's just cheaper I find my bath stuff cheap, like other places for way more affordable. So I love Stitch Fix with an asterisk because I would say they used to be my favorite. Like, they've kind of had issues, but I love FabFitFun. I think that's really fun. I've taken a break. I don't know at this point if I have a clear winner. I appreciate Ipsy because and also YouTube, when I'm watching it, I kind of got a lot of tips and tricks for skincare. And I appreciate that for Ipsy, you get to try 5 full-size products for $30. They have sales. So it's allowed me over the years to have a lot more expensive skincare than I normally would. TheraBox comes and goes. Like, I feel like sometimes, you find hidden gems there. And then I had a couple questions about vacations. We are a big travel family. I have traveled since I was young. Starting in 3rd grade, my grandma took me on a trip every summer. I was very lucky in that I generally got to pick where we went. And so the travel bug hit me early. I love to travel. If you don't know, both my parents have passed. And they were waiting on me to graduate college before they traveled. And so my mom died when I was 21. And that's kind of been my philosophy. Do all I can while I can because life's too short. I didn't want to be my parents. So we are always going, doing, seeing. So I don't know. I just love traveling. I love going to new places. It would be very hard to pick a favorite. Nature-oriented trips are some of my favorite, but my husband and I went to 5 countries in Europe. My uncle kind of footed some of the bill, like he paid for like the hotel and stuff like that, but I loved Scotland. I I loved Amsterdam. Like New Zealand is probably in like the top 5, but we love traveling. I would say New Zealand was one of my favorite places. We went to the South Island and it's very nature intensive. It's just beautiful, but I love nature. And so probably anywhere nature. And I'm not sure there's been a place that I haven't liked, necessarily. This summer we're doing Canada, Banff, Lake Louise, Jasper. It's kind of mountains with like this crystal, like turquoise blue lake water. And so very nature oriented. So we often go on kind of nature-y trips. Last year, Alaska was wonderful. My daughter absolutely loved it. She would go back in a heartbeat. I would go back in a heartbeat, but it's very expensive. And so that's not a trip we could afford to do on the regular. But we loved it, and I would totally do that again. Again, very nature specific. So I don't know. I guess nature. My dream vacation, I would say, so this Canada trip was definitely a bucket list for me. I want to go to Switzerland. I would like to go to Germany and see the castles. I would love to go to Austria. Those are some dream vacations. Tahiti. I feel like I always thought I wanted to go to Tahiti, and I'm kind of changing my mind. But Tahiti's on there. Like my husband and I would like to stay in one of those like hotel hut things out on the ocean. So that's kind of a dream vacation. I want to just go new places every year until I can't go new places. So I'll be traveling till the day I die. All right. What are some other questions? Favorite movie. So one of my number 1 favorite movies is Last of the Mohicans. I think it has everything. Action, romance. I love it in shows where like there's a person who can just do everything. And I feel like the main character in that could do anything. I also really like romance. That's my probably preferred genre. I like when something's like that in there. Let's see. Favorite meal. I would say I have a repertoire from my mom's cooking. I loved her food. She was a really good cook. And outside of that, when we went to Paris, I don't even know what restaurant, but they had this truffle sauce that was it was amazing. And that, I think sticks in my head as one of my favorite meals. And again, otherwise, I would say my mom's cooking. And then I saw this question that I thought was interesting. If you could ask the genie for any 3 things, what would you ask? And I had my answer like kind of like that. I'll do the first one last, but my first thing was that my daughter lives a happy, healthy life as long as possible. My third one was that I get to see that as long as possible. But then my first one was like, I wish we could wave a magic wand. And I know it sounds silly to say world peace or something like that, but I wish we could fix I don't know, the fighting, the wars. I wish we could somehow in 2024 not have all of that happening. Anyway, I love doing the Q&As. I think it's kind of fun to get to know each other. So I would be honored if you guys would tell me something about yourself in the comments below. Anyway, thank you guys for all who participated, and I hope you have a great day.